Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakagadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, whom I learned from in the shalom to the whole for the elect. 144,000 chosen, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yahshua to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Who is Yahushai? This is your brother Radah, with a very... Just another bitter report, man. Man. So we are witnessing the beginning of Jacob's trouble, man, with the northern and southern kingdom. The northern kingdom being the Latinos and Native Americans, and the southern kingdom being the so-called blacks, Haitians and Jamaicans, and our biblical arch enemy, Esau, Edom, with Amalek, the head tribe, who is known as the so-called white man. These enchantments, these lies that they're saying, it's all about patriotism and immigration and criminals and thugs. Those are the accusations. That is what Esau is. He's the accuser of the brethren. And that word accuser, let's go into it real quick. I got a bunch of videos I want to play, but I got to lay some foundation. Let's go into Revelations. Accuser. Let me see. Hold up. Let me try this. Accuser. That's what I was looking for. See all of them. Let's go here. Okay, so this is the prophecy in Revelation 12. And I heard a loud voice saying, in heaven, now is salvation. Now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Hamashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. Let's look up this word accuse or accuser and see what the attributes are. You guys see this. This is Salakia from my yawning, man. Accuser. So, Renaissance Western Christianity has done an excellent job at being deceptive and not rightfully dividing the word of truth. Every time you see the word Satan in Scripture, it doesn't always mean Satan, the prince demon spirit. Every time you see the name or title angel, it doesn't always mean a holy angel. It can also mean a man. And you have to know when the difference is being made. Just like every time you see the word Gentile, it doesn't always mean a heathen nation. It could mean an Israelite foreigner. And the problem with English, and the problem with trusting Esau, and the problem with Renaissance Western Christianity is it teaches the Hebrew records incorrectly on purpose. And this accuser, Renaissance Western Christianity, teaches that this precept right here, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Hamashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. They teach that this is Satan, the prince demon spirit, the invisible spirit devil, the guy with the red horns. No, this is talking about a human being. This is talking about a race of people. And the accuser in this context is talking about the Edomites and their system on how everything they have established, their narrative from science to religion to history, is they have been accusing us since slavery. If you've noticed, everything they say about us, it's always everything's our fault. We're sick, it's our fault. We're poor, it's our fault. We're the reason why our families are the way they are, everything's our fault. Nothing is because of what the Bible says as far as the curses are concerned. Because if they mention the curses, then they have to admit that we're the Hebrew Israelites. See, they have to attack and accuse even our true name, because they have said that they are the chosen people. So everybody else on the planet Earth has to be something else, so that Esau doesn't have to be Esau. Esau changed his name to white, and Amalek changed his name to Jewish. And that's who they are. That's who they say they are. And so they have to reclassify everybody else so that they cannot be the Edomites. You see what I'm saying? So let's go into this precept real quick. Let's go into the definition of accuser. Look at this. You got to see this word, which has cast down, which accused, all right, the brethren and the accuser. So we're going to get both. This is accuser.
Strong's G 2723. Categareo. Categareo.
What do you hear when you hear that? You hear do you hear category? Exactly, because that is exactly what this is. That's where we get our word category. And look at the definition. To accuse before a judge, to make an accusation of an extrajudicial accusation, or to categorize, to call you by a different name, to say things about you that are not true. And that's what this is. And this is what Esau has done. Would you like to see some examples? Let's go into accused. Let's see what this one is.
Strong's G 2725. Categoras. Categoras.
It's another aspect.
Thayer's lexicon, related entry. Categor. Categor.
So it's just another aspect of category. You can hear it. An accuser or a categorist, a name given to the devil by the rabbis. No. This is talking about Esau. And this is when you have to realize sometimes in the scholarly notes where you can see where they're trying to cover their tracks. This is talking about them, you guys. What was one of their categories? Let's look at this. I'm going to show you something. Before I ask the question, I'm going to ask, who was it that said, who wrote the law that black people were 3/5 of a human? I'm just going to pull that up. Let's see what it says. Let's see what it says. The law was the 3/5 compromise. So this is an accusation. This is a category. Who wrote this? Did Satan, the demon spirit, the prince demon write this? Or did the so-called white man write this? You see where I'm going with this? The law was the 3/5 compromise. What the fuck is that? A component of the United States Constitution. See, because white people are Edomites, or something. Oh, the Constitution. The Constitution, this entire system is authored against us by these people. This is why everything's fucked up, man. And there's no getting out of it until Yahushua comes and destroys this entire place. That's the only way we get free. It's the only time. It's the only way this shit's going to stop, man. Let's go into this. The law was the 3/5 compromise, a component of the United States Constitution written by the Founding Fathers. Well, who the fuck were the Founding Fathers? During the 1787 Constitutional Convention, not a single individual to resolve disputes over slavery, taxation, and political representation proposed by delegates like James Madison and Roger Sherman. It dictated that 3 out of every 5 enslaved people would be counted when determining a state's population for houses of representatives, opponent, and taxation. Okay, the 3/5. Let's keep reading. Not a single author. The 3/5 compromise was a negotiated agreement among many delegates at the Constitutional Convention, not the creation of one person. So the compromise is found in article blah, 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 blah. It was an attempt to balance the conflicts and interests of northern and southern states. Okay, let's see what else. No, I'm looking for how they were trying to say that we were animals. The agreement counted. Why not? The phrase 3/5 of a person is a modern interpretation and misrepresentations. That's a lie. The clause was not about the inherent humanity of black people, but a racial apportionment and taxation, not the three-fifths of a person. Denials. Okay, so look, let's see what this says. Not three-fifths of a person. What the three-fifths clause meant at ratification. See, it looks like they're trying to cover their tracks, but let me see. Denials of black humanity, free and enslaved, coexisted with explicit acknowledgement that enslaved black people, though legally deemed property, were people. It sounds like they're having a hard time believing that, though. Let the case, I mean, why is this even being written, though? Think about this. Why is this doctrine why is it even up for study or debate? Because they weren't viewing us as human beings, okay? Let the case of the slave be considered as it is in truth a peculiar one. Let the compromising expedient of the Constitution be mutually adopted, which regards them as inhabitants, but as debased by servitude below the equal level of free inhabitants, which regards the slave as divested of two-fifths of the man. So wrote James Madison. So right there, you see who wrote that. Did Satan write that, or did a white man, did an Edomite write that? And this is the situation with every single fucking law, with all their medical practices, with all their science. It's this race of people writing their fuckery about us. That is a category. They are the accuser of the brethren because they write these things about us. See, there goes these books. Madison was talking about the three-fifths clause. Oh, is that what he was talking about? The United States Constitution, appearing in Article 1. Representatives of district taxes shall be appointed among the several states which, let me jump down, and its most basic direct taxes. See, there's all this shit, right? Okay. The fraction, three-fifths, is in the text itself, and though the word slave is never used, the clause is clearly talking about enslaved black people. There are understandable reasons why it is so easy to assume that defenders of slavery on some level had a belief that black people, free or enslaved, were innately not fully human. Okay, so this is one, and they can go around in circles and all this bullshit. That's what they were saying about us. Let's show another one. Let's show another category. Let's pull out the 13th Amendment. 13th Amendment. What does it say? Look at that. 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution officially abolished slavery. No, it didn't. See, this is a lie because look what it says. An involuntary servitude throughout the United States, except as punishment for a crime. So right there, that's the clause. How are you abolishing? What's the word abolish? Let's get the definition. Let's get the definition of abolish. See, everything out of Esau's mouth is a fucking lie. And all you gotta do is just break it, abolish. How do you spell it? I'm spelling it wrong. Okay. Abolish. Abolish. Put an end to. Put an end to do away with. To abolish, so to destroy. See how it's lying? So if you're putting an end to something, how do you say, if you're putting an end to something, how do you say except as punishment for crime? You see how it just reloops back into itself. So now I have to criminalize you. So now I have to write laws to put you back into slavery. I'm going to get rid of slavery, right? But if I have to punish you for crime, well, now I got to make sure you're committing crimes when you're not a criminal. You've been working for me for 350 years for free. You're so fucking busy, you don't have time to commit crimes. You don't have any rights. Think about this, you guys. Look at this shit. Did Satan, the prince demon Satan, write this? Or did a so-called white man write this? So the accuser of the brethren is talking about a race of people, you guys. And these are just two major fucking examples I'm giving you. And I'm also showing you how when they say they're doing something good for you, they're fucking lying. How the fuck do you have abolished officially? The 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution officially destroys slavery and involuntary servitude throughout the United States, except, now the word accepts just undoes everything you just read, except as punishment for a crime that a person has been. So why does it say a person? No, a black person, a Hebrew Israelite, a Northern Kingdom, a Latino, a Native American, because that's who's in their prisons, you guys. You got to see how they write their shit, bro. I'm getting pissed off just looking at this shit, bro, because all the prisons are owned by who? The same race of people who had us in slavery. You see how this fucking system? It's all fucking shit. So go back here. The accuser of our brethren is cast down. So in order for us to experience salvation, the so-called accuser has to be cast down. And I'm proving to you that the accuser is talking about the so-called white man, his judicial system, his medical system, his science system, the whole way he does things. It has to be brought down. That's the only way we get free. Can you guys see that? Because that's what it's saying in the scriptures. If you go back, if you look right here, just read up. And the great dragon was cast out, the old serpent called the devil. Because if you read the entire chapter 12, this is talking about the war in heaven. This is coming in the future when Yahweh Shai from a UFO, a chariot, and a bunch of other angels fights Esau and his armies. And so look at verse 7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels, it's talking about Yahushai, fought against the dragon. It's talking about Michael too, Michael Allah, but he's under the authority of Yahushai. And the dragon, that's talking about the Roman Empire, which is America's, the revised Roman Empire. See, they tried to say the dragon is Satan. That's talking about the so-called white man. And the dragon fought, and his angels, what are his angels? What are the so-called white man's angels? All his drones, his space force, his fucking dew weapons and his military, his goddamn fucking, his jets, his fighter jets, all his atomic bombs. And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Heaven is talking about the rulership seat position on the earth. That's what it's talking about. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. Again, did the prince demon Satan deceive the whole world, or has Esau been lying to the world through his philosophies and the way he writes his laws all fucked up? Look at this. Look at this lie. This is the 13th Amendment. They're telling you a lie, and it's written, it officially abolished slavery except as punishment for a crime. Then it didn't abolish slavery. Then it didn't. Because if you can convict me of a crime, and you're going to make sure you're going to write vagrancy laws. What are those? You couldn't, so-called black man couldn't be more than two on the street. Well, why are you going to write that law about us? You're the ones that brought us to this country. Why don't you take us back to Africa? How come they didn't take us back to Africa, you guys? Because then they wouldn't be able to do this magic, this fucking enchantment right here. See, if our bodies are not physically here, they can't lock us up. They can't put us back in slavery. See, it's not about getting us back to, it's not about getting us out of the fucking country. This is all bullshit, bro. These motherfuckers are the devil. They're the physical counterpart of Satan, man. Now let's go into these TikTok videos. I wanted to say
Trey Reed's second autopsy came back, and they ass in trouble. Delta State University is in trouble.
I want to show you something too. I want to show you the buffoonery of our fucking people, the 2/3, because you're not going to hear nobody cry out to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai for salvation, because that's the only way we get salvation. What is he saying? They're in trouble. What does he mean? He's talking about from the position of their courts. How are they going to be in trouble in their own courts? They created that system. They're not in trouble. The wicked are not in trouble as other men because they're not going to investigate themselves. And these slow belly, spiritually dead, 2/3 niggas, they keep, there's been proof. So what are you going to do with the proof instead of going to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai and crying out to him for justice? You think you're going to go to the court system and you're going to get Esau in trouble? It's not even if you did get it, that's not good enough. Watch how many of these fucking Negroes you're gonna see the same merry-go-round, black and white, civil rights, goofy fucking struggle. Racism, it's racism. No, this is Jacob and Esau. And the only salvation we have are these prophecies in Scripture. This is what has to happen. There's no mention of going to court here. There's no mention. What we see is what verse 7 says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai has to send Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai has to order Michael to stand for us, and a supernatural confrontation has to take place with the so-called fucking white man. Not going to his fucking court systems and showing all the evidence of him being a piece of shit devil and then expecting him to hold himself accountable. He's not going to fucking do it. In fact, according to this prophecy, this is what it's going to take to remove him from power. Micah Allah has to stand for us and Yahweh Shai has to come back. That's the only way Esau comes off that throne, you guys. And that's a very bloody and a very violent and a very scary war. That's how this happens. Not this bullshit.
Are you okay?
Not this bullshit that you just saw. I didn't say that video. But all these, look, I'm going to play some of these. All these fucking people, bro.
The reports coming out of Chicago don't even...
Because Colin Kaepernick funded a second...
Let me start
Absolutely
here.
No one's talking...
So let me start here too. Remember what they said about Chicago and the migrants, right? You got to remember, how does he write his laws? He writes deceitfully. He says he's going to do something, but he's got other motives. Remember, he's got to get the migrants out. He's got to arrest all the thugs. Now look what's happening. Look what's
Talking about this.
We have some major news right now. ICE is ramping up surveillance of your social media accounts. According to Wired, ICE is planning on hiring nearly 30 contractors to literally sift through all your posts, photos, messages, any raw material on social media across platforms to then send to ICE officers to assist with deportations and raids.
See, this is just they're going through your privacy. This is the draconian laws. This is the devil coming down on you having great wrath, like it says in Revelation. Okay? In the guise of, we got to get the migrants and we got to get the thugs.
Absolutely no one's talking about this, and it's wild. This
fucking little Peckerwood shot himself in the fucking leg and tried to blame it on the Northern Kingdom. He panicked when he shot himself, and the cops realized he was lying.
17-year-old from Florida named Caden. He made up an elaborate hoax about a week ago that he was kidnapped by 4 Hispanic men in a van for wearing a MAGA hat, when in reality, he faked the whole thing and even shot himself in the leg. Around a week ago, this kid texted his family and said that he was abducted by 4 Hispanic men in a van, and then he vanished. Now, police had the Amber Alert going. They had helicopters searching for this kid, fearing the absolute worst in that he was gone. But little did they know, he texted his family about this elaborate hoax and fled on his bike with camping supplies so he could act like he was gone. And he actually went as far as to shoot himself in the leg to further this elaborate hoax. It wasn't until this little boy realized that, when you shoot yourself in the leg, things happen, you might die, that he came out of the woods from where his camping supplies were and he was camping out and flagged down somebody and they took him to the hospital. Once he was found, the police did an investigation and came out and said there is no credible evidence that there was any Hispanic involvement, and he did all of this to himself. Everything. This kid had millions of dollars of resources looking for him, and it was all a lie, according to the police. This is how far the propaganda has gone.
The reports coming out of Chicago don't even sound like it's reality. It sounds like it's from some dystopian novel.
That's what it is. It's the beginning of Jacob's trouble and the draconian laws.
These are clips from citizens, saying armed agents busted open many doors after arriving in U-Haul trucks to raid the 130-unit apartment building on South Shore Drive. They woke up residents to handcuff them with zip ties and led them into unmarked vans. These are citizens that are being detained.
And these citizens are Hebrew Israelites that don't understand that they are Hebrew Israelites, and that don't understand that the so-called white man is Esau. They don't understand because they haven't been fucking listening to the prophets. They're full of sugar and GMO foods and hip-hop music and fucking football and television and fucking God knows what else, and they're completely fucking not paying attention, and they're trusting in the system to cry out for justice when the same race of people, right, who created the system, they write laws and statutes twisted like this. By the way the 13th Amendment is constructed, if you can see it, it shows you all you need to know about this race of people. Just by the way it's written. How do you say you're abolishing something and then follow it up with except? The except neutralizes the abolish. So I'm gonna. It's like fucking. You know what I mean? I'm gonna set you free. I'm gonna come and get you out of. You're waiting for me to bail your ass out of jail. But if you do, bro, the except completely fucking terminates it. Except as punishment for a crime. So now all I got to do is write laws, which what does Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 say? He writes laws and he lies in wait for this poor righteous man to ensnare us. And so they start to write all these laws to tax your fucking ass, and now you're in jail, and now I can put you back in slavery. It's all bullshit, you guys. It's a goddamn trap. It's a fucking trap, man. Let's go back. Let's start going into these.
Because Colin Kaepernick funded a second autopsy, it was found that Trey
This guy was lynched, but they said he hung himself, and now it's come out that,
an honors student and a black man, suffered blunt force trauma to his head. He didn't hang himself. Trey Reed was lynched.
We knew this man didn't hang himself. Did y'all catch the Trey Reed update? The second autopsy revealed blunt force trauma to the back of his head. It's not everywhere yet, but I did catch this. Since it's not all over the news, sites yet. I saw someone ask, where's the news?
They're not going to put it on the news. This is again, what do you see? How does he write his laws? He writes his laws deceptively. Why? Because he is the devil. He's the only race of people in the Bible that when the Spirit is talking about him as Satan, he's the only physical group of people that can fit that description. And then the only other time Satan, the actual devil, is being spoken about is when he's being spoken about. Other than that, it's talking about the goddamn white man.
To support this, Marco Burgess said, I received this information directly from the family. They had a meeting last night with Attorney Crump's team and the Colin Kaepernick Foundation to discuss the findings of the second autopsy.
If you don't want to accept the fact that the so-called white man is called Satan and the devil in Scripture, show me another race of people on the earth that writes their laws skillfully, deceptively like this, and poses in front of the whole world like they're a righteous bunch of people. Dude, it's not just the 13th Amendment. This is every fucking thing. Their entire, every fucking thing is like this. The way they write their divorce laws, the way they write their marriage laws, the way they write their fucking homosexual LGBTQ laws, the way they write the religious laws. Every fucking thing in their system is kinked like this. Because 7 abominations are in his heart. It tells you that in Proverbs.
What I'm sharing is information the news doesn't even have yet. Now here are some details. Trey came to the defense of a young sister who was being attacked for comments she made about Charlie Kirk. He was defending her and started arguing back and forth with 4 white guys. 2 are students on the DSU campus, Delta State University, and we know who they are. We're still investigating this to see if there's a connection. Activists also said Reed's cell phone was absent from his possessions, returned to possessions, but the GPS tracker was still active and his mother observed the device moving throughout the county. If his cell phone's supposed to be in evidence, why is it moving from location to location? Good fucking question. Another activist alleged the family was told Reed sent 2 texts before his death, including one that read, "The buckle broke." However, neither printout provided by the police had a timestamp or a date, and the large belt buckle found around his neck was missing a buckle. It wasn't on the ground, and police haven't located it anywhere. Are we supposed to believe he hung himself and threw away the buckle and then sent a text? We know from history that lynch mobs love to keep souvenirs for their crimes. So, of course, the evidence nor the facts support the ruling of suicide. We found he was only partially hanging, and the medical examiner could not determine the time of death. There weren't any bruises or ligatures around his neck that would indicate he had been strangled or had been dangling by a rope for several hours. It appears to us he was manually choked by someone someplace else, and then they put his body up. Now remember, the cops right away were like, no foul play, before even a full investigation had been done regardless. But now the family had to do a second autopsy to find out, did he hit himself in the back of the head too?
So what's happening? What is happening? The Most High is revealing this man. At the same time, he is stirring this man up to kill 2/3 of our own people. Because Esau is the sword of the Lord. He is the sword of Yahweh, right? He is Yahweh's sword. And he's going to be used to judge 2/3 of our people because our fucking people have been chosen by the Most High to be judged. Does this mean that Esau is right? No, he's still the wicked. All right? Esau shall no longer be able to hide himself. He's showing you who the fuck he is. I'm going to pull that. He's the sword too. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. Deliver me. Deliver me from the wicked. Deliver me from the wicked, from the wicked, from the wicked who is thy sword, from the wicked who is thy sword, who is thy sword. Psalms, arise, O Yahweh, and disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So Esau is the weapon in the hand of the Most High. And when the Most High is done using him, he's going to fucking destroy Esau. So you guys got to see this shit. This is who this man is, man. This is what he is.
So I'm watching the Ford CEO say,
Let's go back to these fucking, you got to see these. And I want you to sow something in our people. Because of the enchantments, because of Renaissance Western Christianity, and because of the civil rights movement enchantments, and because our people trust in Esau's judicial system, because they don't have understanding of the prophecies. They don't understand that a war in heaven is coming, and that's the only way and the only just way that this man shall be dealt with is by the fury and the wrath of the Most High. Isaiah 63, 1-4, Lamentations 4, 21 and 22, Obadiah 1 and 18. They don't know this, so they're like, oh, listen to this goofball.
Trey Reed's second autopsy came back, and they ass in trouble.
But what's he thinking? What do you guys think he means that they're in trouble? He doesn't think by the Most High. He's talking about in their court system, and this is where our people are failing, and this is where they're going to die at, because they're not in trouble in their own court system. They're in trouble with Yahweh Shai.
State University is in trouble. I told y'all that they were gonna lie. I told y'all they were trying to cover that shit up. Look at this shit. Blunt force trauma to the back of the head. Hear me out. Blunt force trauma to the back of the head. Y'all some pussies. Y'all had to wait till that man back would turn just to knock him out, just to get him in the tree. And I told y'all, people from Mississippi don't unalive themselves by hanging themselves. What really pissed me off that it was black men in my inbox telling me that, oh, you act like black men don't hang themselves. They don't. Where you from? Another thing, for the people that telling me to shut up and stop posting the family, me and Trey Reed mama already talked. We talked like 2 weeks ago. She had already hit me up and was thanking me. I'm not even gonna show y'all the message, but I am gonna say this. She said that she's not scared. She's not running. They doing everything in this world to break that woman. But at least y'all can do is support her. Just remember, Delta State University, they lied to this lady. In the first hour of them finding Trey Reed in a tree, they had already said he did it himself. It was a suicide. I told y'all that was a lie.
But why did they lie, you guys? Because it's all they fucking do. Okay? He's called the fucking dragon. He's called Satan in the scriptures. Because his entire system and everything that he has established is adverse toward us. They are the biblical Edomites are our fucking arch enemy, man.
Now keep getting this message right here. Chief of police is black. The coroners, they black.
Did you hear what he said? The coroners are. So what does that tell you?
The DA is black. Why would they cover everything up?
Because why? Why do you guys think they would cover everything up? All of our people in those positions of power, who do they serve? Do they serve Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai? Or do they serve Esau? Let's get it. Let's get it. It's in Second Maccabees or First Maccabees. Wicked Israelites. Wicked Israelites. Made a covenant. Make a covenant. Let me see. Made a covenant. Let's see if that pulls it up. Boom. Look at this, man. In those days went out there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. So they fucking cut a covenant. They did a fucking secret society homosexual blood oath, and they cut a covenant with the heathen, whereupon they built the place of exercise of Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. There is nothing new under the sun. So that's what he was talking about. So when you see, just because it's a so-called black woman that's a chief of police, or it's a black judge, what the fuck do you think? That doesn't mean shit. That's all strategy, man.
Trey Reed's face. Like I told y'all, all this shit is about money, saving money. They even know the names who did it. Guess what? They gonna hide that too, Toss. How did you miss that? Ain't no way y'all missed that. Money. Let me just say this as well. They know exactly who did that to Trey Reed. They know exactly how many it was. They even know the names who did it. Guess what? They gonna hide that too. You really think them white folks and let their kid be all over the news, they gonna fuck their whole family history up? That shit ain't finna happen. Them white folks finna pay how much money they can pay to save their kids' face. Like I told y'all, all this shit is about money, saving.
This guy's a goofball, man. But it's these niggas have no biblical understanding.
Can you walk us through the specific injuries or findings the second autopsy revealed that the first one ignored?
Yes. The first one ignored. It said there was no lacerations, no signs of foul play. But guess what? Here it goes. This baby had blunt force trauma to the back of his head. This young man, Trey, he had not a fractured, but a sprung leg. He had bruises all up his back and on his butt cheeks, on his jawbone, on his face. At the funeral, Saturday, you can see visible lumps on the brother's face and bruising. A lump on the side of his face and bruising. So this whole notion that this is somehow suicide is straight up bullcrap. It was asphyxiation, as if he was hung after death, according to, and I don't know the actual medical terms, but what the mother said was, according to the doctor, the forensic pathologist doctor, that they were able to that did the findings with them on yesterday evening. It appears that I guess he was hung minutes or hung minutes after the death had already taken.
Okay, so now what's another precept? Because none of these fucking people are going to repent. They're not going to turn towards Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. They're not mentioning any of the prophets. They're not quoting precepts or scriptures. They're not calling upon the name of Yahushai. They're not confessing their sins. They're just going to argue and get mad and cry out to Esau and his system for fucking justice, like they were taught to do during the Martin Luther King era. It's fucking pathetic. Let me see. Let me see. Scourges are sent. Scourges. I don't know if I'm spelling it right there. Scourges are sent for amendments. Amendments. Let me see. Second. It should be second Esdras. Yeah. Look. Behold, famine and plagues, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. What does amendment mean? To change. Let's look it up. I believe that's what it means. Amendment. Betterment. Improvement. Okay? Reflection. Correction. Advancement. Improvement. To amend. Okay? Correction of error. So scourges, right? And a scourge is like a whip. I'll show you, which is it's a scourge, a whip used for inflicting pain or punishment. So Yahweh sends scourges to inflict pain and punishment to bring about correction. And what does it say? He chastises those who are his sons and daughters, right? His children, his sons. So that's what's happening to us. We're being scourged. But because they're stuck or they're set for the fire, they don't fucking change. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent for scourges, or sent as scourges for amendment. Watch. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. They don't perceive, the 2/3 is not perceiving. The 2/3 is not perceiving that what's happening with them in Esau is from the Most High. And that is the most dangerous fucking place to be. When you're going through the curses and you don't understand that it's the curses. When you're getting your ass beat by Yahweh, by him using Esau, and you think it's racism. It's not racism. This is Jacob and Esau. This is Yahweh exacting his punishment on us for our past sins. And if he hasn't freed your mind to turn up and look at him and confess, you won't confess. And if you don't confess, he won't forgive, or he won't relent. And you'll be permanently stuck in this merry-go-round of what you think is civil rights and racism, when in fact you're getting your ass beat by your father and you don't even know it because he hasn't allowed you to perceive it. And that's where all these people are at. It's on one aspect, it's mind-blowing. On another aspect, it's fucking frustrating. And then on another aspect, it's liberating. When you understand, it's like, you know what though? This is their lot. This is their lot, to experience Esau and to not even perceive him as Esau. They think they're black, you guys, and they think Esau's white. They think this is a racism thing, a black and white thing. No. This is Jacob and Esau, and this is the most. All these videos are talking about this shit. Every fucking single one of these videos.
So the second autopsy has been completed for Trey Reed. And if you don't remember, Trey Reed was found hanging from a tree at Delta State University in Mississippi shortly after CK was. Authorities were very quick to rule that Trey Reed took his own life, and it was very suspicious. So actually, Colin Kaepernick funded a second independent autopsy, and those results are now in.
And the whole system is corrupt. Why? What does it say? If the judge is corrupt, so are the officers. If the judge is evil, so are his officers. Or let me see, officers. Let me see. I'm paraphrasing it. I'm fucking it up. As the judge. Okay, boom. So, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner? What precept is that? Let's just find it. As the judge. Okay. As the judge. Boom. Verse 2. Stalakia. So as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such as all they that dwell therein. So Esau is the ruler of the city. So it doesn't matter if it's a so-called black woman or black man that's operating in the system. They're all under the same vibration. They're all corrupt. But see, people will see that one or so black. See, it's your no. It's still Esau's kingdom because they're operating under because the system is designed to afflict Jacob because Esau is in his rulership right now, and the Most High is punishing Jacob, and he's about to start punishing Esau because you can see you can see it right here too. Look, and I'll stop with this. Lamentations 4:21. So look, so this is now the ending of our punishment, right? We're getting our ass beat, but now it's going to be time for Esau to get his ass beat. Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. This is sarcasm. The cup also, the punishment, the scourge shall also pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Look what he says. The punishment, the scourge, the cup of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. So now I'm done beating your ass. He will no longer carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. We are quantum entangled.
I'm in here, so
We are quantumly entangled with Esau, and Esau is quantumly entangled with us. We cannot get away from each other, you guys. We are tied together in prophecy. And as they begin to go down, according to what Yahweh has said in Yahweh Shai said in prophecy, the elect of us, begin to go up. As his kingdom comes down, Yahweh Shai goes up.
The corner needs to be investigated. The police who try to rush and close this case and call it a suicide needs to be investigated.
And remember what we said, okay? Remember, what the fuck? Okay? Look. Verse 2, Ecclesiastes 10:2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. So if the head is sick, if the head is wicked, so is the fucking body, bro. But because they don't understand prophecy, they're trusting, which is a transgression for us. They're trusting in the system. They cry out, they pray to the system for the system that is Esau to give them justice, and there's no justice here. Civil rights creates an altar for you to worship. At this altar, you pray to this God. Oh, Esau, have mercy on me. Oh, Esau, will you please give me crumbs at your table? And then Yahweh just beat your ass more, because that's not, you got to cry out to Yahweh Shai. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all that dwell therein. And Esau, the so-called white man, is the ruler of the city, and everyone underneath him in his system is under the same vibration that he fucking is, bro. And the only way we get deliverance from him is the war in heaven. Revelation 12, the war in heaven. The war in heaven, the war in heaven, the war in heaven. The war in heaven. That's the only way we get out of this, bro. And there was war in heaven. There was war in the city. There was war in the rulership. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And that's going into Esau, Edom again. And the dragon fought with his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven. And because Yahweh Shai removes the dragon from the position of power in heaven, and the dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceives the whole world. Now he's no longer able to deceive, and he was cast out to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice. Now that he's been cast out, I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation. We do not get salvation until Esau, the so-called white man, is removed from power. Now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Hamashiach, for the accuser, for the so-called white man of our brethren who's been accusing us is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. This doesn't stop until Esau is removed from global power. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Rekal Kodash. I want to give double honor to the elders and apostles, the great millstone of whom I learned from, and a shalom to the hopefully elect, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.